Worst artist you've worked with?
I don't have, funny enough. You know why?
Really? Why?
Because I pick my struggles.
Okay. Best struggle you worked with?
I don't have a struggle. Shucks. This is... I can say both. Let's start with boys and butts because that's where I started.
Okay,
right?
okay.
My best struggle was Ricky. My best struggle was Ricky.
Aww.
Purely because he used to shout at me as his baby sister, but also because I put myself as his handbag. I just chose myself. My best recent struggle has to be a younger chief.
Mahalo, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of the Drop Hip Hop Uncensored. Kalibito Kinarintinton. I'm twice as nice, so you gotta say it right. Today, my guest is beautiful, gorgeous, expert, honey, PR and media marketing and communications guru. Hello, Dineo Campbell.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. And yourself?
I'm good. First things first, is Campbell your real surname?
Guys.
Is Campbell your... Or is it like those AKAs?
No, it's no protege. It's my real surname.
Wow. It's like a marketing surname. You know when
And it sadly it genuinely isn't. By default.
a handbag, you know?
No, it definitely isn't. It's a brand though, so hey.
Thank you for pulling up, ne?
Thank you
but
for
I want
having
to
me.
go straight into it, right?
Shucks.
Because we want to be informative and entertaining at the same time. Please just explain to people that don't really know, have fully grasped the definition of what broadcast journalism really is.
So it depends how you look at it, right? Broadcasting on a larger scale would be your more TV and radio journalism. So we move from the traditional media, which is writing and print media, to basically just television and radio.
Okay. And then what is public relations with regards to broadcast media? How does that get into, or how do they work hand in hand?
I think it depends how you utilize it.
Okay.
Right? Because PR can take many stances depending on which angle you're looking at it in, right? So if you're working with government, corporate, finance, whatever, your PR will take a stance in terms of broadcasting through print media. That is still a form of broadcasting. It's just traditional media, right? And then in terms of entertainment, media, the industry as a whole, your PR perspective will then take place through digital stuff. So social media, online marketing, campaigns, activations. So it really depends on the stance you're taking it at.
Okay. I like that you say depends on the stance, because now it brings into question in terms of corporate, because when people think gigs or events, they're always thinking parties or social gatherings, right? You're one of the greatest experts in corporate event management, right? What is corporate event management? Because that's another facet of media that people don't really have a lot of knowledge about. Yes.
I mean, I was also not very new to it, but I shied away from it for a long time. So your corporate media would entail doing things more formally, basically. So you still take it in a stance of entertainment, you still take it in a stance of social gatherings, but you just do it in a more formal way. So I mean, you then require like event staffing that is more hybrid. So we will elaborate it as a hybrid event, right? So you need governance, you need security, you need hostess. So it's basically the same thing. You just need to formulate it in a more formal way.
Okay. Yeah. Do you prefer corporate or social events? Planning or managing corporate or social events? Just like from what you prefer personally.
I don't prefer anything. You know that the weird part about it is we always say like media is an itch, right? I've tried to run away from it for the longest time. I then went into corporate, which has been now 2 years, and you can never run away from it because.
But I'm sure you make more bank in corporate. I'm sure you make more money in corporate. I know corporate budgets are like you see whole numbers.
You make more money where you actually apply yourself. Period. I could still make more money.
That's a smart
you
answer.
literally make more money when you apply yourself. I don't have a preference. I've always obviously found myself on a stage because I am also still with a various amount of corporations in terms of eventing, right? But I'm liking corporates a little. I just hate being in an office though.
Oh, okay. No, I get it. I want us to go into talent management, right? Because a lot of people think, no, if you've known Rin for like 10 years and Rin is now into broadcasting or creating content, and Rin's like, Dineo, please just help me out. That's you managing me. So what is talent management? And I feel like people need to understand the basis of it before giving people titles, because that's a mistake we're seeing a lot in our industry.
And I've sadly pulled away from talent management because of that, right?
Yeah.
Because in the 11 years I've been in the industry, and from the way I started, I think we all as management, and I'm not taking anything away from anyone, right, need to tap into your style of work, right? And your style of work sells you. You don't have to say anything, because when a talent sees you or hears of you, then they say, I want in our style of working. We need to differentiate between A&R and talent management.
Yes,
I
very
personally
important.
do not pick up and coming talent, right? Personally, because I cannot afford them and they can't afford me in various ways. 1. 2, I do not work as A&R. I'm not there to start up anyone's career.
You're
I'm
there to
maintain
something that's already there.
and sustain your image,
okay.
your corporate image, your whatever, your brand, your reputation. So it personally would not work for me. Some people it works for, right? But also I think a lot of what we're missing in management right now is that people are having established talent, right? That's also now another stance we take. Established talent that they're already grasping from, and they've never actually had to do the work when there's no phone calls coming in, when there's no bookings coming in, when there's no...
It's easier. It's easier.
But I say wait until you're on the road and your friend that you've picked as your manager, who has not studied or done the actual work, can't differentiate between when you're shooting, when the sun rises, when the sun sets, a call sheet, a call time, getting you to a gig, getting you double booked, flights and everything. Because people look at it and they belittle it very quickly, right?
They think it's very easy because it's like an informal type of situation.
It's really not. Also because I've tapped into so my style of working is tapping into my talent, right? I study my talent before. I can tell you a basic thing like I had New York people here, right? And one of my artists on stage said to me, Dineo, I need a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I said to the people there, I said, whatever you do, get that sandwich, right? And they then later on asked me, why was that the case? And I sat down with my talent. My talent said to me, when I was younger, I used to be nervous. And that was my shy away from being nervous. So I used to literally bite on that sandwich. So you never really know. I know, for example, a younger chief, he doesn't talk to anyone. Don't talk to him an hour before a gig. Don't talk to him 2 hours before a gig. Let him tap into himself. He doesn't, when he's grumpy, when he hasn't eaten. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to
you know,
master
and
your talent. I know in the morning, whoever needs cool drink and they drink orange juice, that's the problem. People don't study their talent, and therefore you take your friend, you put them in a road, and then
your friend is like, I just eat, dog, it's food.
Also your friend becomes a talent.
Yeah. Ooh. You know, I want us to also talk about how managers are now becoming the talent or the artists and the brands that they're managing.
I don't think we don't.
And it's a very important conversation that it needs to be had, because we're too quiet about it, or we talk about it in private spaces, but we need to talk about it so that people know that it's real and it's a problem.
You know, I've and this is for one why I stopped doing interviews. I used to do a lot of interviews on Massive Metro and so forth, right? There's a lot of truths we don't want to speak about as management.
Facts.
There's a lot of truths I don't want to speak about. And it's personally because I've always had an open door policy with any talent, right? But my whole thing is that you find people's artists or talent. It doesn't have to be artists. And guys, when I say talent, we go beyond rappers, we go beyond...
It's media,
we're
actors,
going to DJs,
presenters,
I've got
everything.
people's talent in my DMs. How do I then go tell your manager that your talent is not comfortable? Because what talent does is that they take what is there right now, but in the later run, then they say, I actually should have messed with...
And they're not comfortable enough to go to their managers because they're their friends also.
So for me, the biggest thing is that as a manager, you can build yourself as a brand, right? I've been okay with building myself as a brand because I haven't sold myself. I haven't advertised myself. I've built it from scratch, hey? And personally, for me, I can now branch into being a brand because that's the umbrella that holds my whole production house. So for me, my brand is to actually create it so that it's a safe space. But it's not for me to be famous, right?
It's not about
for me,
you.
For Dineo, then they say, okay,
they see your work.
Someone is under her, and then we can fucks with that because this is how she vibes, or she's got the documents that need to be used for certain things, or she's got the approval, she's got the forms that she needs to use. But other than that, I think we need to differentiate as managers from being a brand and actually being famous. And it's okay to be famous as a manager, but don't do it under somebody else's talent. Do it on your own accord.
Yeah, that is a deep one, because now it goes into I love how we're flowing, because it goes into, I wanted to ask you, how do then brands or artists keep, or creatives, let's say talent, keep track of their bookings? Whose account do people, do organizations or corporates pay into? Because that's another discussion that we need to have, that artists is starving, talent is starving, but every week, every day, on a daily, you're gigging, you have promos, you have sponsorships, you don't see your money, you know? I mean, there's big names I can give you examples of that you also know. There's those that aren't even in the public that we also know, it's starving, you know? But let's tackle in terms of who gets bookings, whose account do they pay into, who pays who. Because with my understanding, the manager is an employee of the talent. So the talent, there's supposed to be some form of business account that now pays, you know, the people or employees.
I think also this is why I say to you, like, people have taken away so much from artist management. They've taken away so much from being in the industry as a facade, right? And that's why I go back to saying that, like you'd study accounting, like you'd study law, it's the same thing with us. And for me, because I had then studied it whilst I was learning it, right? And then I tapped into my career full force. We need to understand that, like any corporate company, being in the industry is a job. It's an actual job.
It's a 9 to 5.
It's a 9 to 5, and then you have an operations manager. When they say management also, we shy away from the fact that there's a booking agent, there's a talent manager, there's a road manager. Those are 3 different things.
You can't be one person.
You can't have someone on the road who's getting the money into their account, because that person's then going to spend whatever they want to, when they want to, right? Personally, so I don't know how other people operate. If you're signed to a label, the money will go straight there, right? Or to the person who's managing that certain talent's account. Or let's say in an agency, you'll have 10 people managing 5 people's accounts. That one's managing 5 people's accounts. So essentially the money would go there. You'd then agree on a 10 or 20% deal, which then will go straight into, so you don't even see the money before I take it out. You know how much you're supposed to get paid. I take 5%, I take my 10%, and then I give you the rest, right? In another instance, for me personally, I use contracts. And in a contract, you'll then have the talent details, an account that does not belong to me personally or the talent personally. The talent will have, even if it's not a label, they'll have an account of some sort that is entitled to their name, right? And that's where the money will go. And most of the time, it depends what kind of talent you're working with. So if you're working with an artist who's trying to build something, or your PR stance for the next 5 months is we need to shoot music videos, then the money goes towards that, right? Or we save it in ways that will accumulate to us affording a video.
And you can see the profit.
It really just depends on what you use it for. I mean, there's talents with like 10 million cars, and that's their, I think, you know.
That's another one.
It depends. It really depends. You can never say where artist money goes, because your artist will know what they want for themselves.
Okay. Now, you've literally tapped into the next questions that I'm going to answer. And I love that. Because now it brings me into, we were talking about when there's money coming in, right? But for up-and-coming or rising stars, like I like to call them, how do they then manage their social media without tens of millions of deals or without like a proper budget? Because as much as we'd like to say, no, you need to have a budget, you need to have this, you need to have that, the reality is that South Africa is a third world country.
It is.
The artists themselves are still at the bottom of the rack. You know what I'm saying? And not to say it in a negative light.
They're just
but
not fit into.
You know what I'm saying? And we the likes of Instagram makes it look like as soon as your song is playing across South Africa, you're popping or you're a millionaire. But that's not the reality that we live in. You could have a number one song playing all across South Africa, but not have like proper income come yet. And royalties take about what, 3 months to get to you?
Royalties are very shitty right now. I don't even know about 3 months.
So they take about plus minus 3 months to get to you. So at that moment in time where you have this number one song hit record, your video is out on YouTube, it's getting a lot of plays, plus minus more than 100,000, but how na budget marketing? How do you then target that? Because also remember, not only management, but also being informed enough to know how to maneuver around the public relations aspect of media.
I don't think you'll ever be too informed. You know why? Because this is why we're currently at the space we're in. Because they don't want you to know.
Hectic.
Your managers don't want you to know.
If they wanted you to know.
They don't want you to know. I've walked into studios where your managers want to take Dineo out because Dineo is going to tell you the truth. I've asked people, where's your rate card? Where's your timesheet? Who's in the studio? Who's on the guitar? Who's on the mic? Who's on this? Monetizing anything will always be difficult because people don't want to feed you the information. It's not because the money is not there.
They don't want you to get the money.
They don't want you to get the money. They don't want you to learn. So you can get the first portion of the money, but you can't get the second portion of the money. So I'll give you your 5K. I'll give you your 15K for the first few months. But after that, when you're making 20K, it doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to know how much you're worth. I don't want you to know how much I'm making out of you. So then we go back to distribution parties. We go back to your electro modes. We go back to your Samrolls. We go back to anywhere where you're entering, distributing your Sonys, your whatever. Those people are there to house you, right? Those people are the people that are going to tell you the truth. Those people are going to give you the documentation. And once you don't have documentation, you'll never know the truth.
So would you say that it's always better to have like different people handling different things? Because is it not? Because my thing is, okay, let's say you have, for instance, there's TuneCore, right, where it's like a DSP platform where you distribute to all, online streaming and stuff, right? And you're handling that yourself. But then in terms of ads or your songs being played on radio, Samro handles that, right? Yes. So then on top of that, plus you gigging, plus you recording, as much as we always like to say artists need to make sure they know everything about themselves, you're one human being. You're keeping track of DSPs, you're keeping track of radio plays and Samro things, you're keeping track of making music, you're keeping track of performing. Honestly, is that possible for one person?
Your manager's one human being as well. And that goes back to the aspect of picking your, a lot of people carry dead weight. You get people with 32 people in a gig. You're saying, why is your crew 32? Why is it 10 people in your car?
32.
For what? And that's what I'm saying to you. Dead weight is very, okay, number one, you're distributing 5 salaries when one person could do everything. And hence I'm saying that people want to say they do PR. I've had the best talent right now. Their managers have everything. Their managers are getting the gigs. But ask them if the artists have ever been on newspapers. Ask them if the artists have ever been on radio. Ask them if they do media packaging. You don't. So I think also, hence I'm saying, because I've studied it, it's the all-rounder aspect of it, right?
You didn't just wake up and decide. You didn't just wake up.
You're either a manager or you're not. I don't, in my PR and communications aspect, I don't classify myself as a manager. Management is one of the things that I studied under PR and what I've mastered under media management. Okay. But it's not my whole stance. So you need to pick your crew. Dead weight is not going to help you. It's not going to help you distribute. It's not going to help you connect. What I'm saying to you is that if I pick up my phone right now, do I have the contacts to go back and say, the call you would have made in 2 months would have taken me 2 seconds? Have I started those relationships with people where I say, yo, I've got someone, I need to put them on radio now, can I come through to your studio? It's that simple.
Also, you need to be diverse in terms of who to go to and know where to go.
It's relationship management.
This conversation is a lot, but now I want to go into the campaigns. A lot of artists are now doing campaigns because it's another way of making money as a talent, right? But people have gotten it wrong because there's some people, maybe for instance, I don't know, a Cruise Vodka says I should do one of their campaigns, and then I'm seen out at a club, whatever, and I'm there Daddy Zev. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do we then tackle things like that? Because social media is a big thing. There's someone in that club who's gonna post me, or who's gonna take a video of me.
I think it's with campaigns and more so with brands, right? Brands, your contract with brand is the only thing that ties you between you holding a Verve bottle when you're representing Cruise. It's what they want and basically you know you're signing a contract, right? You know your distribution or your life is now signed for 3 months to a Castle Light, for example, right? Your restrictions are not about you or what the media is shooting.
Contract.
It's literally just a contract. It's literally just a contract. They say to you, listen, you can't. For what I know, no brand will ever stop you from drinking anything in the club, but they expect you to at least represent them in some way. So brand will say, okay, so every club you go to, your rider will include this, and it's on us.
Okay, that's fair enough. But for brands that don't do that,
then you don't have to. I mean, hence I'm saying it's
because it always seems like
brands want more than
brands,
they actually give.
yes.
That's not the case. I think it's just a contract you sign.
Okay.
You can't expect an upcoming brand that is using you for marketing. Hence, I'm saying the brand approach will also tell you that they say, listen, we can't afford this, but we can afford that. And you've agreed to it. So if they say to you, okay, at least buy 1 bottle of this and we'll give you this, or post this and this is what we can fund you with. It's your choice. It's just a contract basis thing.
And then let's talk about political campaigns, right?
Shucks.
Because one thing, I know that you've had experience.
I'm in trouble with the company.
I know
Right
that you've
now,
had
I rented,
a young birdie whispered to my ear. Political campaigns are also very tough to go around, right? So in terms of,
should we be doing political campaigns?
That's also what I want us to tap into, because from the way that I see it, I feel like they're wanting more from talent than they are willing to give out. But also,
isn't
it kind of like propaganda?
I would never, and I speak, this is genuinely from experience, and this is from also a place where now we're forgetting entertainment and we're saying, what have politics done for us? So you can be aligned with anything, any party, and kudos to those who prefer to do it. I personally don't believe in entertainment and politics being together, because they're there at that time, right? But at some point you actually realize, what has politics done for entertainment? I was speaking on a campaign right now of where distributions of money were made for corporate government events, right? But did we get relief funds? And I'm not talking about 350, I'm talking about, did applications go through and did the money come through, but people can buy gifts with 100K?
Where are those gifts also?
They're gone to people who deserve them, I guess. I don't know.
Because now it also breathes into how corruption has, and I feel like it's a conversation that we're not having. Corruption has snuck its way into media, and we're kind of like covering it up by the door.
It's fine.
And we're not saying it's because it's happening. And then we're going to say, no, well, Parasite didn't do that, but also it's happening in media and in the media space as well.
But you know why? Because we allow it. The media allows people to dictate to them. The media allows people to, and I'm talking at the core of talent. I'm talking at the core of management. We've allowed people so much to dictate what our creativeness is. We've allowed people to dictate how we move and how we maneuver. So now I've said to you, because you now can't facilitate this, I need you, right? And hence I say I pulled back at some point, because I said there's no point where anyone's going to tell me how my talent flows or how I've designed my creativeness and how I want it to work.
Which party did that to you? We'll mute it out.
The very popular one. The
one with 3 colors.
That popular one.
The one with 3 colors.
That popular one.
Noted. So now, because traditional media, I always like to put traditional media in parallel with propaganda, because I feel like the biggest 3 channels that the minority of South Africa has access to are controlled by that bigger party that we all know, right? So now, in terms of talent and people getting, to be on TV or radio? Because you've gotten experience in, I could name all of the big radio stations you've worked with, all the TV, platforms that you've worked with. But then how do artists then package themselves or their brand to be out there in those traditional media? Because as much as we say, fuck TV, fuck radio, we have the internet. South Africa, not everybody has access to Wi-Fi. Not everybody has access to digital, to the digital world.
I don't think talent should package themselves, and that's why you have, again, a manager, right? So the brand you're under, or whoever you're under, your brand. So even with talent, right? You could be an artist alone, but you've got a brand, right, on the side. So that brand should facilitate as a business, right? And when you're a business, you then have those relationships that you're creating.
Okay.
And those relationships then say to you that because I know you and because this is who you are, I can then say I want to work with you, or it's okay. Hence I'm saying the reach out is you build first before you go out, right? People for a long time say to me, you've been in the entertainment industry for 11 years. I'm not trying to promote myself. I'm trying to build business. Whatever quantity, I say to people, you look at me and you say, okay, but Dineo's got 3,000 followers on Instagram. It's for a reason. So quantity over quality, right? You can have 5,000 contacts that you can't talk to.
Or you have like 5,000 followers and only 3 people like your post.
Then what is the point? I can thoroughly tell you that everyone on my phone, everyone on my social media
has a purpose.
I can literally go back and say, wait, man, even in 5 years. So this person invited me here, let's put them on this. And hence I'm saying even now I'm working on building a production house because I want to house those people that I can always use as reference. And my first reference, when someone says, oh wait, so we're doing a Nike shoot, I say, okay, this is for Tabs the storyteller. Yes, I've got a list of 5 photographers that I want to use, but I know what Tabs shoots because I've studied that and I know what I want to use it for and what time.
It's such close content because you see it on a daily.
I always will use that talent first before I distribute it to anyone. And hence I'm saying to you, you don't have to be packaged. When I go to radio and I go to TV already, I know what I'm saying to them, and I'm saying in 5 years, okay, I didn't use Tabs 5 years ago, but I know why I want to use him now. This is his time. Also,
the work that he's done.
It depends on the timing and why you need to be used at that time. I always say to talent, you come into my inbox and you say to me, Dineo, I need you now. And then I'll ignore you. But watch me 2 years later and I say,
and then you hit
wait, man, I remember there was someone in my inbox who does this. This is their time now.
Okay, I hear.
You get what I'm saying?
Because that's the other thing that a lot of people will always cry about. No, you only want to work with me when I'm popping.
I don't need to sell you. I'm not here to sell it. I'm not even here to sell myself or advertise myself. I will know why I want to use you and when I need to use you. It's pointless for me to say to you, okay, you're popping now, I'm going to finish you, right? And then 2 months later, you're sitting and you're like, but actually, what was I doing?
What was the point?
And then I can't use you 2 years later.
Worst artist you've worked with?
I don't have, funny enough. You know why?
Really? Why?
Because I pick my struggles.
Okay. Best struggle you worked with?
I don't have a struggle. Shucks. This is... I can say both. Let's start with boys and bugs because that's where I started.
Okay,
right?
okay.
My best struggle was Ricky. My best struggle was Ricky.
Aww.
Purely because he used to shout at me as his baby sister. But also because I put myself as his handbag. I just chose myself. My best recent struggle has to be a younger chief. And I say that not because I can rate younger and Muesli both on a scale of knowing themselves. And those are my best struggles because it definitely is a struggle to be challenged. And to be challenged in a new way because these are not people you're going to... So my style of work would clash with them rather than anyone else because I can't dictate to them.
Because they know who they are.
They know who
and
they
they're
are.
comfortable with their brand.
So before I'm trying to set up a production, before I'm trying to set up anything...
They have ideas of what production they want.
Whose whole job is done. And I'm like, but that is
I'm not even done.
And that is okay. And those are my struggles because I chose them and because that's what I always tap into. a younger doesn't talk. And I'm like, but nigga, I need to get into your brain. And he's like, you actually don't, just listen. One thing Younger will tell you all the time, even if there's silence, he'll always say, now listen. And I'm like, I'm struggling. But you need to listen. And that's one thing he's taught me. So I don't have, I can say a bunch of things. I'm from Alex, right?
Really?
Yeah, I'm from Alex, straight from
That's
Alex.
why didn't take you too long to get here.
No, I was at home. I've never lived in Alex. I'm from Alex.
Okay.
My biggest struggle has been Alexandra artists. Purely because I wish they realized not everyone's there to chow their money. Not everyone's there to.
It's not a every kuluva for himself in every situation.
I just hope they don't wake up when it's too late.
Which artist from Alex still has that mentality? Nah, you know which one I'm gonna guess because I know that you worked with Jazzy.
Actually, it's the complete opposite.
Oh.
Funny enough, he's grown in leaps and bounds, and purely because he doesn't carry dead weight.
Okay.
And I'm saying this in a sense where whether you're vibing with Jazzy or not, whether you're working with him or not, whether you guys get along or not, he's going to move. And he's moving with his own purpose. So be it we don't like it, be it you like it, he's moving. He's moving in his own route, he's moving in his own sense. But I can genuinely say that artists in the hood struggle the most because not only is it about dead weight, but because you want what's popular, not what's right. So you're going to flow with someone who's popping now, someone who's selling themselves now as the best manager or as the best production house.
But who's not the right person for you.
Who's not the right person for you purely because they're not marketing themselves. A lot of people know me but don't know me. And I'm okay with that. But later on you then hear, oh, but Dineo was on this, so now do we use her or whatnot? And I've stayed away from that partially because I always say to people my aim was never to be popular. So if you're trying to use me because you want to. Not because Dineo did this. I know what I'm doing. And I don't need to market myself. I'm not trying to be popular. I'm not trying to advertise myself. Also, if you can afford me right now, then it's okay.
With that big rock on your finger.
Well, that is subjective. We're not going there.
With that big rock on your finger.
We're not going there. That is subjective.
Like you're sitting next to me, ne? Otori. A crossbody aluminum.
No, I'm not dating in the industry.
With a rock. Not a ring. A rock.
I'm not dating in the industry, guys. If that's the question, no. Have I?
Have you?
Let's carry on with your question.
Have you?
And this is, I'm not answering questions that I wasn't asked.
Okay. But also, at least answer this one. The big rock on your finger.
It's no one.
Oh, okay. Wedding bells, nyana. My heart, or it's just one of those.
Yeah,
you look beautiful today, Kim.
I don't want to say no because next thing I wake up and I'm hitched as hell. No, guys, no wedding bells. I'm not pregnant. I'm not hiding anything. No.
You just have a big rock on your
But
finger.
I'm definitely not dating in the industry.
Yeah, but you have a big rock on your finger.
What if it's a gift?
Okay. Ooh, I love gifts like that, honey.
What if it's a gift?
Listen, I love gifts like that. Now you've mentioned how you don't deal with rising stars or up and coming, right? Because they can't afford you, which is fair because I mean you've been in the game for more than 10 years. You are allowed to have your tax bracket. I think you've earned it.
Yeah.
You've pretty much earned it, right? In terms of you saying you're taking a break from talent management, would you say that if if KO asks you to revive his career, or
KO's career don't need to be revived, though.
Example.
He's gonna kill me. No, KO's career doesn't need to be
but
revived.
like
I was actually out at Gonka with him a month or two months ago. He's doing pretty well. And also he is taking upcoming artists and he's got 5 new people, I think.
Yeah, and I love that he's grooming young people. But now my question is, for someone as big as him, right, who has been in the, because I feel like they always
go silent.
Yeah, but also they always find ways to be relevant. They always they don't die, or like people don't forget about them. For people like that who've been in the industry for so long and then now want to reinvent themselves into a different version or reinvent themselves into a different sound, would you say no to artists like that?
I wouldn't. And you know what? Even with upcoming artists, right? It's not even about me not wanting to help anyone. I've got a million DMs, right? It's the capacity in which you want to help somebody. And this is why you have and had people like Ricky who carry so many people with them. He had reached the capacity where he could actually carry people on his shoulder. I personally can't, because I need to also get to a space where I've detached myself completely from the industry. Because in as much as we want to say you've been in the industry for odd 5 years plus, right? A lot of it also comes from emotion. I'm a creative myself. As much as someone is singing, drawing, doing whatever, I'm a creative myself, right? And my heart needs to get to a space where I'm not trying to baby anyone anymore. So, I mean, essentially, even now, I want a production house because I want to keep people safe. I want people to know what they need to know. But I need to also detach that from trying to baby people. I personally can't take upcoming artists because I can't deal with them.
You can't baby people.
I also can't deal with them. We wanna the rise to fame thing. I don't have the energy and time to school anyone. I'm moving. So, and a lot of what people don't know is that even with the clicky stuff and the competition and whatnot, I'm not in competition with anyone. You know, Uspuda always used to say to me, people need to understand that we're not doing the same thing. You being a manager and me being a manager could be just the word management. We're not. And hence I always say to people,
and
I'm
the
not in
relationships
entertainment.
aren't also the same.
I'm not in entertainment. I'm in entertainment business. I'm in business. I don't care about what's going on in the front. I can listen to my own talents, music 5 months after it's come out. And I don't want to be in the studio. I don't care for that. I love your music. Yes, I care about what you're producing.
It's part of your business to know.
But tap into your talent in the studio. Just come to me and say, Dineo, it sounds clean. And I will do it for you. If you say to me, Dineo, this particular song is the one I love, then I love it too. But I'm not there to be in the studio and dictate what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, I'm a creative just like you are. I'm not... You can never tell a creative what to do with their talent. And that's just it.
I really like that and I admire that. Now, I want to talk into your production house, right? Guys,
I need 10 million. Send girls the money, please.
And the thing is, that big rock can send you 10 million. But... but I want to talk about when is your goal to have it up and running?
I think I've waited long enough, and this year. I say that because I finally reached a place of contentment, and I just know it's my peak, man. It's literally, I know 2022 is my peak, but also because I mean, I went through a lot of things during COVID, and whilst on tour, whilst on stage, everything, and I realized that more than anything, maybe it's not my time to be on the road anymore. Maybe it's not my time to be. And as much as we want to shy away from new managers being managers, maybe it's their time. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe that is not my peak. The peak of my career maybe does not belong.
It's
in
yet
me
to
being
come.
on the street. Maybe the peak of my career belongs to me housing people. So my production house will literally be an umbrella hat and facilitate different faculties of entertainment, whether it's corporate, whether it's anything. I want to have social media, I want to have digital, I want to have, leave your cameras in my office, come edit if you want to, walk in, edit, do whatever. I just want to give you the structure that you need.
The platform to have, right? One thing that you mentioned to me earlier was that you have anxiety, right? And you also spoke about same sentiment. I get so very anxious. And we were also talking about the passing of Ricky, right? How has that, affected you? Because as much as I understand, sometimes you need, you literally had to put on your face beat, wear heels, come to the job to talk to Ren, right? You know what I'm saying?
Last night,
So it's like, how has that affected you, and how are you able to just get up and go like that, even though we're inside?
I don't think it's something about an ability. You'll never be able to just pick yourself up and go, right? But and I don't take anything away from it, but Ricky's not the first with me personally, right? I've now recently, as not only lost a brother, but I've lost someone on my stage. So I can tell you, before Pearl passed away, I think a month or week before, he was on my stage, and it was his last gig.
and he said to me, dog, whatever you do, this is now your time. Now you're taking care of me. I'm not selling myself. Now you're taking care of me. Take care of City Lights. You get what I'm saying? I had, and I don't think I can mention it because of the controversy around it. While I was on tour, I had another person pass away mid-tour, and I had to get someone to get up and go gig after that. I had 6 missed calls when Mpura passed away. In the morning, my phone never rings like that. But I woke up and it was a panic. And you know, people are also so fast to spread the word that they actually don't realize you don't even know anything.
I wanted to also get into
with
that.
Ricky, I had to channel myself. For the first time, I had to challenge myself because I also knew that I wasn't dealing with just his passing. I had not been present for all the other guys' passings, but he was present. That's the weird part about it, because just a week before that, we lost a baby brother to Ricky as well. For me, with Ricky's one, I think it hinders me the most because I started with him.
That was like the one that shouted at you and
he made the phone call. But even with Muesli, he made the phone call. Even with anyone else, he made the phone call and said, "Yo, do you know Dineo? Use her." And literally, I think a week before passing, not even a week, I think on the Sunday or on the whole week, right? I had a conversation with Ricardo and he came to hug me, right? And he said to me, "Yo, it's almost a month. You need to start prepping. We're doing production for Cotton Fest." So I don't think I'll ever deal. I mean, at some point last week, I said to everyone, I said, "What am I still doing in the industry? Maybe this is."
And like so many of them, dude. How are you even? I don't even want to say strong, because strong
I'd
is
like
just
to say I'm floating.
word.
People think we're on drugs. People assume we're on drugs. People assume we're on all kinds of things. And I can tell you now, I've never done drugs. But I think people don't understand that as a creative as well, it's a calling. You can't run away from it. So you need to get up and just do what needs to be done. I'm still dealing with it. I mean, it's only been now a week, 5 days. I mean, I just spoke to his brother now on the phone, right? And we have to prep tomorrow again for memorial service. The show must go on, and I didn't want to say this last week because I was like, no, bruh, the show's not going on. But then when I had to gig, I realized the show must go on. It must go on.
It's a lot to deal with, you know, for any human being.
But it's coming of age as well. You actually realize that we're growing, guys. People, you know, we used to say the other day, someone said on Twitter, you know, you used to shout at your mom, when every day was saying,
now it's
it
like,
makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's pretty
So it could have been anyone, not even a Ricky. That's why I don't want to belittle death to just a talent person. You know, it happens. It happens every day in a media house when people are sitting and they say to you, somebody from Soweto has just killed themselves. And that's why I say we need to actually tap into the areas that we're not looking at, because there's so many people carrying the weight behind us. There's so many. You're on camera now. You're carrying the weight behind everything because you're telling the stories. And no one ever goes back to that. So it could be anyone, literally.
I think that's the thing that scares me, is that it could be literally anyone.
It literally could be.
Do you know, what do you want to remember for?
I actually don't want to be remembered.
Why?
I think I've with all the clickiness and the competition and the grouping and the I fucks with who, I don't fucks with who in the industry, I don't want to be remembered. I'd like to still remain, and hence I'm saying between being in the industry and being a normal human being, I had to master living my life as just Dineo Campbell. Unfortunately, the surname and whatever else around it comes with some form of popularity.
Yeah.
I can tell you my popularity doesn't come from the industry. It comes from a vibe. It comes from the people I was around. It comes from the family I grew up in. So I would like it to stick to that. I don't want to be remembered because people are going to say all the wrong things because people think they know you.
It's funny because you know who actually gave me your number?
Actually,
do you know who gave me your number?
So I saw this thing and I said, yo, guys, how am I going to shy away from an entire interview?
Like, because, hey, you made me run around, John. Or when you were like, no, when it's your time, I'm like, child.
But you see
that's why you took. That's why you took.
But you see what I said about timing?
Yeah.
Do you think you would have got such a good interview a year ago? Nah.
I don't think so too.
I would have came in just kept quiet.
DJ Smokes gave me your
Smokes.
Yes, your number.
I can't tell you how far back.
Like,
and you see what I'm saying when people say talent.
He was
now.
like, this is the person.
I can't tell you how far back I go with Smokes.
So it, like, what you're saying is literally coming into like vision and I'm seeing it and I get it now. Like, I get why it took you so long to get here.
Smokes.
I get it. I get why.
Man.
Like, I get it. Like, it makes... Because before I'm like, oh, this one. Then I see you hitting me up and I'm like, should I?
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice
so
time.
it's like, it makes so
Smokes
much
knows
time
when it's
now.
his time
Yeah.
as well. And,
It makes so much sense.
I can't tell you how far back I go with Smokes. And hence I'm saying people are in the industry now. Smokes and I used to go to Stones. Liquid Chef.
When he was hosting there.
When he was hosting and DJing, and I was like, what the hell is Smokes doing? You know, but I just vibe with him because I used to stand at the DJ booth with Smokes and I wasn't even his manager. I used to like shout at people, but I get it now. And that's what I'm saying to you, timing is everything.
It really is. It really is.
It
Thank you so
is.
much for coming.
Thank you.
Where can people follow you? Where can they...
Don't follow me. My things are all deleted on social media because y'all are creeps and you're weird as hell. It's Campbell D. I literally had to clear my social media here because people
Also
are
the
weird.
DMs also.
I don't even mind the DMs. It's more, hence I say, people are always looking for something. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. There's nothing to it. I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm not trying to sell myself. You're not going to, my social media's got nothing to do with my career. It's got nothing to do with my life. You're not going to find anything. I'm not trying to be found. I'm just trying to build a safe media space.
I love how real you are. Oh my God, I love it.
I don't want to be
I love
found.
it.
I don't care.
I
Be
love it.
popular there. I'm not trying to be popular. It's not for me. If you know me, you know me. If you don't, it's cool.
It's okay.
cool.
It's okay.
It's Campbell D on Instagram. Dineo Campbell on Twitter, I think. Also, I don't even use Twitter. I go to Twitter for laughs. I don't have Facebook. Apparently, I've got a Facebook account,
Hate
right?
it.
I just want to say something. I do not use that Facebook account. It does not belong to me. It is not mine. So it's just Instagram and Facebook. Those who know me know they've got my number. My number's never been a private thing, and purely because I control my phone. My phone doesn't control me. So yeah, that's literally where you'll find me.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
And that, beautiful people, is another round. This has got to be one of my favorite episodes I've shot. And this is, we're on season 3. Hebare Uncensored. Bara eso. This is what we call uncensored.
Daddy, don't offense anyone now.
Can you take another intention? The hip hop games. Black beautiful Barbie. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your people. The Drop Uncensored on all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. The Drop Uncensored on YouTube. The Drop Hip Hop Uncensored, because you know here it's all real and unscripted and uncensored. Until next time, from my heart to yours, it's all now. Hello, everybody.
Bye.
That was-